everybody. This is kind of like a little surprise, little viewing here. I wanted to, well, first of all, let me introduce myself. I am Brian Broxton. This is Frankbrox Art, and consider this a place where you can go and relax and enjoy yourself and enjoy just viewing illustration, the whole process, looking at trendy illustrations, original IP, and talk about comic book nerdy stuff. This is the place where you can come and relax. So I have a special guest. I know I didn't advertise or do anything like that. It was kind of like one of those little, hey, you want to do a little something or whatever. So I brought on a special guest, and it is my big sister, Deneen Broxton Harrison. So I'm going to bring her on. What's going on?
What's up? If I sound a little rough, it's because getting over bronchitis and all kind of other stuff. So
Okay.
as long as you hear me good, that means I still have my voice.
Yes, yes, yes. You're coming in loud and clear, loud and clear.
Good.
We may have maybe one or two viewers, but that maybe four. I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see. But they'll look at it later on because ain't no
Yeah,
point
that's true.
but anyway, I always want to, I did talk to you or kind of praise you when I was talking to a friend of mine, Jeff Burns, and I was like, because I was basically kind of going over how I got started, and I had mentioned, that you were kind of like my inspiration, to start my, I guess, artistic career. So, because I remember like the first thing I did, or one thing that really inspired me that you did was like that, I guess, Busting Out by Rick James, that poster, that illustration you did. And
Yeah,
man, once I saw
remember.
that, man, I was like, boom, that just kind of jettisoned me to, inspire me to start just drawing and doing illustration and, stuff like that. Cause that, like, the way you shaded it, I wish you still had it. I don't know what happened to it. It's
You
probably
know what? I
lost to
might still
time.
have it. I'll have to go up in Mama's attic and look for my old stuff because I know it's somewhere in
Yeah,
that house.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
gotta be
yeah.
because I remember that.
Yeah, because I don't think, because Mama never, like, I don't remember her ever throwing away, like, any of
She does
our
not
art
throw
stuff.
away anything,
Yeah,
so
so it's
it's
probably,
somewhere in the attic. I
yeah,
know it's gotta be.
yeah, definitely. But anyway, one thing I never asked you was, how did you start drawing? Like, what was the thing that inspired you to kind of like start drawing? And what did you draw when you first started? Do you remember the first thing you drew?
Oh goodness. I I I used well. I think what kind of inspired me to want to draw would be Mama used to have this set of classical, well, a set of classic um, stories like Gulliver Travels and Alice in Wonderland, and they used to have all these pretty, colorful illustrations, and
Okay.
I just get so fixated on those illustrations. And I think the first thing I tried to draw was the head. And when, in elementary school, you had a little template on how to draw a head.
Yes.
It's like you start out like drawing a little tree,
Right.
like a diamond, and then coming in, narrow at the neck, and then just drawing the, loopy loopy loop around the head to make the hair.
Right.
So so that's how, just looking at how you start out drawing, uh, the head and arms and stuff like that. So um, I just wanted to learn more and just saw, and I think back in the day you used to see how learn how to draw the S.
Mm-hmm.
You had the 3 lines up top and 3 lines at the bottom, and then you connect the line and stuff like that. So
Okay.
just trying to learn what the other kids, how they were drawing different figures,
Okay.
and that got me into wanting to take art classes and learn how to paint and stuff like that. So
Okay.
I think that's the first thing I remember, and then drawing in a book that our mother had that I shouldn't have been drawing in. So I think I got in a little bit of trouble for that, but
Okay.
I just wanted more, just draw and more paper and just experiment on the human form and just learning how to draw stuff. So
Okay. Well, like now you can't see this, but the audience can, and I was gonna demonstrate because I still remember the first thing I ever drew as a kid, and I don't know till this day what it was, but I, it was kind of like, and everybody can see this. It's like two triangles. Well, yeah, two triangles like facing each other, and then it had like a little line on top, and then it has like two little skinny legs. Now I don't know if that was a bat or a bird or whatever, but till this day, I still remember this drawing here that I did, so long ago, and I don't, I still don't remember what it was. So I don't know what it is. I don't know. So, but yeah, so yeah, that was something I always wanted to answer. Like, what was the first thing you remember drawing as a kid? You know, so after doing that, what I guess what kind of like was the I guess the medium that you kind of like first chose, did you start with like kind of like just pencil paper, or did you start like doing like
well,
shading and or working with
I I
charcoal
think
or
no.
watercolor?
Well, the only thing that I could get a hold of was pencil and paper.
Okay.
So, um, I didn't have a lot of blank, just a plain white paper. So I would be drawn on my line paper.
Okay.
And because, mama didn't want us to be, wasting paper.
Right.
So I drew on line paper until I could get some drawing paper or just draw on the back of get some construction paper or whatever paper that I could get my hands on. That's what I wanted to draw. And I think I used to nag our mom about getting coloring books
Okay.
because I wanted to color and just experiment with color. And what really blew my mind was is because our mom would get the same old 8 crayon box and just 8 colors, and I knew it had to be more than just 8 colors in a box.
Right.
So I mean, when I was in first grade, and if she's still out there, hey Linda Walker, she brought the first grade.
Okay.
She brought in a box of Crayola crayons, and it was like, I think it was like a box of 24 or 48. I have never seen so many colors in my life. And I was like, where have these crayons been all my life? And why my mom won't buy me these crayons? I so right then I was just obsessed with color. I just had to have those crayons.
Yeah.
I'm like, it just blew my mind. You know, there's more than eight. There's more than 8 colors in the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
So just I don't know. I just it's like you just get one piece of thread and you go for the next piece of thread until
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I was just fixated on it.
Okay. Okay. Now was this the time? Because you're a little more, for lack of a
You want to say
better.
old?
No, no, no. I was gonna say a little unique from the other siblings. Me, Jana, and Brad, because you were born in New York, and all of us,
Mhm.
I guess, we were born in Savannah. So
Yeah.
was all that taking place in New York at the time you're starting to
No,
draw, or did it happen when you
it
transmoved to
happened.
Savannah?
Yeah, it happened. I think I remember I was about maybe 4 years old when I really started to want to draw
Mm.
and learn how to draw. So that's when it started for me at
Okay.
4.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, cool. So now, you can, tell the folks like what are you doing now, like, you can talk about your paintings and, things that you've exhibited in museums and whatnot. So,
Well, um, well, for a long time I haven't. I really didn't paint anything until um maybe 2017
yeah,
after I retired, and I always wanted to get back into drawing and painting, but
yeah,
I never really had the time to do it, or um, I always had art stuff around. I would walk in the art store and buy paper and paint and pencils and just having it, just still having that you know urge to paint and draw again,
yeah,
but I never really knew how I was going to start, what I was going to draw,
yeah,
because I thought I just lost my talent,
mm-hmm.
since I didn't do it for such a long time. And I'm like, oh God, can I just please? I just want to paint again. So
So you was
I
kind
was,
of going into stores and trying to get that
yeah,
feel back and
just
smelling the paint.
yeah,
Oh
trying to get
man,
that inspiration.
you just got to
Looking at the
be in that
paint.
surrounding.
Yeah, so I just said, well, I'm just gonna throw all caution to the wind, just get some stuff that I had, stored in my closet, and I
Yeah,
just pulled it out and just started doodling. And hopefully, I was thinking if I started doodling, then it'll start unlocking some of the uh, things I used to do,
yeah,
but
unlocking
kind
your
of,
potential,
yeah,
having it to
yeah.
come
So,
release,
yeah,
to release again.
exactly. So I thought I started doing that on. I went to because I used to like watercolor
Okay,
because used to do watercolor and pencil when I was in high school. But I had an interest in maybe doing acrylic, so I started out with that and buying canvas and just painting whatever I just felt like painting. I just put it on canvas, have an image in your head, put it on the canvas, and just go from there, project after project after project, and just trying to get that creativity back and that inspiration and visualize what I want to see on canvas.
yeah.
So and then I like to thank you because
Me?
yes, you, because I saw it kind of kicked off. um what kicked it off for me was just seeing back in 2017 there was uh event that was being sponsored by the Ter Fair Museum
Okay,
here in Savannah, and they had the Ter Fair Art Fair.
okay,
So I never tried or thought about entering into any type of gallery exhibit or anything like that because I knew nothing, completely nothing about it. I mean, I've always watched people that artists that I admired here in Savannah
yeah,
um, just get involved and with art fairs and art exhibitions and stuff like that. And I was just totally green.
yeah,
So I would kind of nag some of the local artists here about, what to do and how to go about it and stuff like that. And it was quick, quick step learning experience for me to, find out the ins and outs and what to do. And because it can be, you love your passion, but your passion is expensive.
exactly.
So
Yeah.
So it's like you when you're trying to get involved in gallery exhibits and art fairs and stuff like that, you gotta kind of buy everything you need, and it can be kind of costly. So
Okay.
um, yeah, so after I was, and I never expected to, I painted some stuff and I had it sitting around the house, but I was kind of apprehensive about revealing a lot of what I did to the public because that's when you start doing stuff, you fear criticism
Okay.
from the outside, because they don't know you and you don't know them, and you kind of wear yeah, yeah, yeah,
Your heart on your
yeah,
sleeve a little
yeah,
bit.
exactly. So, you know,
Yeah.
you get a little sensitive, if somebody start, being a little critical about, what you're doing or, what
Yeah.
your vision is or stuff like that. So you
Yeah.
say, well, go ahead and do it. Just send in your stuff. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, just go for it.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. So and to my surprise, I never expected them to select me to exhibit my work, and
Yeah.
that was the first time I ever been involved. I mean, there's just so much talent here in Savannah, and there's so many um, venues, and it needs to be more,
Yeah.
you know. And I think because of with the help of SCAD coming into Savannah back in the 80s,
Yeah.
it it brought in a lot of outside interest
Mhm.
and opened up a lot of doors to some of the local artists whom you know never heard of SCAD,
Yeah.
never thought about putting their work in any gallery.
Yeah.
It brought in other artists from out from other countries and across the United States,
Right.
and it just took off from there
Yeah.
because you had so many uh I don't know, it's like you had so many other connections
Mhm.
coming in and just opening up doors that may have stayed invisible.
Right.
You know,
Right.
it gives you a lot of visibility, just to have so many other talented people coming in with different interests and I don't know, it just I enjoy just having that luxury here
Yeah.
in Savannah where you can, all before you would just see it, in other states, other major cities,
Yeah.
and you really wouldn't think about, having all that, having that kind of opportunity here in Savannah.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm glad it kind of blew up here,
Yeah.
and there's just so many galleries uh, and art stores and art fairs, and
Yeah.
so it paved the way for avenues of exposure to be
Right.
here.
Right.
Yeah,
You know,
so
because we always see like the more well known kind of artists out there,
yeah,
but I like to shine a light on the unknowns. The ones
yeah,
that haven't like really made it. Or made it yet, or really like the mainstream type of artists and stuff like that.
yeah,
Because I mean, we all got talent, and it is a little intimidating. Well, I'm being very nice when I say a little. It's very intimidating. A lot of
mm.
super
Yeah,
intimidating. These days, especially with like social media, and you see so many different creative artists out there, and then when you look at your work, you be like, man, is it good enough? It's like, look at
exactly.
this.
And I think about that every time I look at my work, and I
Yeah,
and see the work of other artists, like wow,
yeah,
because but I mean, what I learned just in the few years of getting involved with other um, being well, and but since before that, I just like to thank the people who, took a chance on seeing something in my work and giving me an opportunity to show my work in local galleries. Uh, Peter Roberts, the uh, who's the the creative, how do you say it, the manager of Location Gallery,
Okay.
and the and Friends of African American Artists at the Jepson Museum here in Savannah. That's under the um, management of the
Okay.
Telfair Museums.
Okay.
So, and they give you so much inspiration and opportunities to exhibit your work, and it helps you to grow and learn that there's more than one way to see an apple.
Right.
Everyone, if you look at art history, there's more than one way to see the human form
Right.
or a profile. So, everyone has their own
This is a tough
vision,
joke to do as a white.
and everyone's artwork is their own signature.
Right.
Everybody's not going to write their name the same way. There's more ways to look at, so much, in the world, and to express, you know, your vision of what you see or what can be. Even if you don't see it, you draw it. You
Right.
you create it. So yeah, so I'm just thankful that there are people here that I mentioned that give artists, unknown artists like me, an opportunity to expose their work, and some of them will, walk you through it, hold your hand, tell you, it's going to be okay,
Yeah.
and then don't you don't. Sometimes you want to just sell your work, and
Yeah.
then sometimes it takes a minute to sell your work. Sometimes it's going to take a little while to sell your work. But
Yeah.
there's going to be somebody that's out there that really feels what you feel about what you've painted or what you drawn or what you created. So
Okay.
you just have to have patience,
Yeah.
and I guess I got a lot of that. So
Yeah. 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 One thing when I was at SCAD, I don't know. I felt a little different about being critiqued because I don't. Well, is my feelings on it. I really like the critique process. It kind of gave me a chance to better myself and also correct mistakes that I may have not have kind of like considered. You know,
mhm.
and I was like, I knew that I was talented, but I was like, I'm not that good. I'm okay. So somebody saying like, hey, that's a little off, or that, it didn't really bother me that much, or
Mhm.
if at all, or whatever. So, but I really like the critique process, or someone critiquing my work, because that just makes me, make it better, and then have me to look at it a different way, so you know but
Yeah.
yeah, so because I know, like, when it comes to art, and when, because you was talking about that you had like a long pause, a long break before you kind of started up again, and life gets in the way, you got bills to pay, things are going
Yeah.
on, so that kind of, unfortunately, your, I guess your passion tends to kind of get put on the back burner,
Mhm.
when life is, when you got to deal with, you got to pay bills, you got to go to work every
Yeah.
day, you're like tired, you know,
Yeah.
not unless you got that drive to just keep going and going and going, it's like, also, the older you get, seem like the worse it gets. The more you don't feel like doing
Yeah.
too much. It's kind of like,
It,
man,
yeah.
I'll just
Yeah.
do it on the weekend.
You constantly trying to find your time to create
Right,
without all the daily distractions.
right,
Because I think my creativity time comes like in the hours of maybe 1:30 to like 6 a.m.
Yeah, I think
when
that's
everything
most
is
artists, man.
quiet,
Yeah.
what I like to call my vampire hour. So I mean, it's like I just get in this zone, and
Yeah.
before you know it, you see the sun peeking through the peeking through the drapes, and
Yep.
I'm
Like,
like, gosh,
hello.
it's 6:30 already. I just make breakfast and then go to bed and then
Yeah.
take a nap,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
yeah,
Cause I mean, it's more so, man. I had so many all nighters, man. Me and I think you met Carnes, my
yeah,
old business
yeah,
partner. Man, we had when we had like our old business back in the what was that, Peachtree Parkway,
yeah,
right off of Peachtree Parkway. And man, we used to be working on these projects all night long, and we'd be sitting in the. I know Tiffany, she wanted like, "Where's Brian? He never come home," you know, ready to cuss me out. But man, it's like, hey, we working on this project, man. We got to work on, we got to get it done. So we'd be sitting there eating ramen noodles, probably ordering some old Chinese food or something like that, playing video games to take a break, and then getting back into it, waiting for things to render because it takes so long. Because back then, we was working on like, I guess not the top of the line computer. It was okay, but at that time things to render things, it took a lot of time, and we had to just sit there like, oh, drool coming out of my mouth like, oh, okay, let's this gonna take about an hour. Let's just go and do something else and then come back when it's
yeah.
done. So
Yes, I
yeah,
remember.
yeah. So that crack of dawn when it's like, oh man, like what time? It's
Mhm.
like 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, and then you got to get up, go to work, and do it all over again. So yeah,
Yeah.
but I noticed as I've gotten older, I can't be doing them all nighters and stuff like that. I definitely got to get my rest. That's for the young folks. They can do those all nighters and the whole college thing, but as you get older, man, you realize you need your rest.
Yeah.
You can do an all
Yes.
nighter, but don't make it like a weekly thing. Just make it like every now and then. And if
Yeah.
you do an all nighter, make sure you do an all dayer of getting some sleep.
Yeah.
Kind of balance it out.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So, yeah, 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 man. So I know it's hard, man. I know it's hard because like basically I started like the YouTube like maybe like 2 3 years ago, maybe 4, maybe even 5 years ago, maybe. But it's kind of like I couldn't really put a lot of time into it, doing the drawings and stuff, because of course I had to work, and then you got family and everybody needs attention, the wife needs attention, and then the kids need attention. Then my time would just be my drawing time. I wouldn't be resting or anything like that. Because I want to kind of optimize, my creativity or be able to still create and stuff like that. So I guess my me time would be my drawing time. So,
Yeah.
and that was when everybody's asleep and then nobody's bothering me and I could just sit and draw and, do my thing or whatever. So, you know, but yeah, that same here. My me time was like the midnight hour, you know, but I would probably just do maybe like from 12 to 3 or something like that and then call it quits.
Yeah. Yeah. I think a lot of it too when you got the crunch time, when you have to do the crunch time mode is when your livelihood depends on
Yeah.
the artwork that you crank out,
Yeah.
because um I I I admire those artists who, you know, you're at that canvas, you're putting in your work, you're doing painting after painting after painting after painting, because you have a gallery showing you're so low, artist and
Mm.
you have so many that you need to get done, and you just have to, you're going on pure adrenaline
Yeah.
because it's consistent. You don't know day from night because you're in your studio
Yeah.
just
Work mode.
painting. Yeah.
Beast mode.
And you just gotta you on that grind, and you just gotta keep painting and keep going because you know you might have like 30 30 paintings that you got to crank out,
Mm-hmm.
and you're just on that grind and you on that deadline, so you just got to stay consistent. But because I do it, I have a full-time job, but when I have time, I like to get in my little corner and paint and just focus on that when I have time to do it. Because I can't imagine having to, just be on that consistent grind. Got to do it, got to get it, on and on. I'm not in that. I'm not in that frame of mind, right? So I mean,
Yeah.
if I had to, then I probably would, but
Yeah.
I, I'm not there.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Because
Uh,
I mean, where when your livelihood is dependent on how much you crank out and stuff. Not unless, well, it depends. Like if you're, let's say you're getting like 5 grand or something like that, then
oh
hey,
yeah, that's
you can kind of,
motivation.
yeah, that's motivation
Motiv-
right there. You know what I'm saying?
that's motivation.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, or more,
Looking at the
for a
dollars.
painting.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, hey, I guess you have to pretty much average the amount of time you work on it,
Mm,
and the amount of time you spend on it, and when you have to get it done, because of course you got to pay your bills, so you got to make sure,
yeah.
like, okay, I'm gonna work on it for this many hours, and that average out to this amount, because like I would say the average person would want to make, I would say, like, uh to get by, maybe like 2 to 3 grand a month or whatever. So you kind of like, well, I'll say, well, most likely you would like to make at least 4 grand a month, but
Mm.
sometimes most you
And
on
that would be
average,
low end.
yeah, on the low end it's probably
Low
like you
end.
probably make like 250, 2,500 or something like that a
Mm,
month or whatever, but you gotta, when you're painting and you're doing it for a living, you gotta average out like how much time, how much you're gonna charge for that painting, and make sure that it's gonna cover, like your month's bills and stuff like that,
yeah.
and then, you gotta make sure you get it out in enough time where you can get your fee and then pay said bills and then work on the next project, because some of that money goes into more, you know equipment. You got to get more paints, you got to get more canvases and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So you got to kind of figure out like how much you need to do in order to survive and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
you know
Because
those
when it comes
things,
to canvas,
yeah,
size matters.
size matters. Yeah,
Size
definitely.
matters.
Yeah.
Money matters.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
It's and mom, um, mom, you would be saying, well, okay, if you're gonna get into art, then what you gonna do with that degree? I'm like, I'm gonna paint.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna draw. I mean,
Yeah.
but that because she's always had her mind set on the starving artist concept.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I mean, you might you get a little hungry.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you pursue it, you'll be a little hungry. But you you have to be your own cheerleader a
Yeah.
lot and just
You have to be,
focus,
yeah, you have to be focused or
be focused.
driven,
Yeah,
to succeed. You have to have like that don't give up kind of attitude, when
exactly.
you're doing any kind of creative work, because it takes a lot out of you. I'm pretty much drained after I'm like working on a project or whatever. Mentally, I'm drained. Physically, I'm fine, you know.
Hmm.
But mentally, is like working because you're constantly thinking and adjusting and improving and you know
Hmm.
trying to see, making
And being
sure,
your own worst critic.
yeah, being your own worst critic. And then on top of that, you have other distractions
Deadlines.
out there and
Yeah.
other creative people that have a different style than you.
Hmm.
And sometimes you may look at it like, man, start comparing, then you might be down on yourself and stuff, so you got to constantly keep yourself motivated and uplifted and stuff like that. So you
You, we sound related.
know oh man, so
Yeah, but
now,
I had to back away from that type of critical thinking. Like, what's mine is mine,
yeah,
and it's okay. So yeah,
yeah.
uh,
So this
that's
is usually, well, we're right at that 30-minute kind of marker where, we kind of like, or I would like to like, start sketching and doing some drawing and stuff like that. Now, if you have, some artwork, you want to show the people, I'm a change up the screen here, and then you can show like, because I know you didn't bring a whole bunch of stuff. I think you brought maybe like one painting or two paintings or something like that. But if you wanted to show that and talk about that, I was going to try to change my screen and let's see, your entire screen, because like I wanted to show you what I drew, or as a kid here, and you might remember it once you see it. Let's see, present a window. Oh, okay, here it is. Okay, now let's see. Now, do you see that? That was my very first drawing there. Maybe, I don't know. I thought it was a bat or something. Cause I know I like Batman and Superman and all that. I don't know. Yeah, that was the first thing. That was the first thing I remember drawing as a kid. So. But anyway, yeah, I've came a long way, man. Came a long way. Now I can draw stick men. Very well, in fact. You know, with noses and everything. But go ahead and talk about your art piece there. Okay. Okay. Oh, cool. Okay. Okay. Yeah.
once I get inspired and think, you know, that'll make a nice paint. So I just go ahead and try to paint it out until you know, and I guess that my painting interest goes in the themes go in phases. Um, at first, I start with portrait drawings, and
Okay.
then I got into like what do you call it, uh, landscape stuff, and beach scenes, and then it gets a little eclectic, a little uh, kind of borderline folk art, color art,
Okay.
and with some of the Gullah art that I've drawn. When you say Gullah art, people automatically think South Carolina, but
Yeah.
Georgia has a lot of Gullah history too,
Okay.
and with a lot of earlier stuff with like along just folk art, Gullah art type of vibe. So um, right now I'm currently working on this, and just gonna do basic touch ups
Okay.
here and there, and because I try to do as much as I can till I get to the point where I say, you know what, I better stop because I don't want to mess it up. And you can do so much until you overdo it,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then it's not like when you're working with some paint, acrylic paint, or you don't want to say, well, hey, I can erase this. No, because I don't want to overdo it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't want to go so far in until you got to redo the whole thing. I can't do that. So
Yeah.
I'll get to the point where I say, you know what, my brain will say, I think you better stop here.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
still working on it. I got a few things I wanted to touch up on, but
Okay.
outside of that, it's
Okay.
almost, to me, it's almost finished.
Okay. Is there a name for the painting or?
Uh, I'm thinking about uh a dead tiger.
A day of time? Okay. All right. Nice. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Cool.
that's what I've been working on,
Okay.
off and on. Yeah, in between naps and work and life.
I hear you. Let's see here. Now I'm a let's see. I'm gonna go back to sharing my screen again, and let's see here. Go here. Now,
Hello, butterfly. Look like something that the youngest would have done.
yeah, yeah, Lil Jackson. This is like something he
Mhm.
would did. I don't know if you probably seen some of the stuff I was working on. Let's see. I'm gonna try to pull up. Let's see. Um, let's see. I'm gonna pull up the latest on the. Basically, I'm like drawing like a little comic strip for Instagram, and
Mm.
I've been losing some followers because they're like, man, this dude ain't posting up in months. So it was like,
Well,
unfollow. So but I get them all back. I get them all back because like basically I'm just doing like this very long, seems like long comic strip, and I'm towards the end here where basically like Jackson's little main character Froggy is, he finally was released from the little trap or whatever that was set by Raccoon. Well, he calls him Raccoon the Madman. So, so his little friend Foxy punches, Raccoon the Madman into outer space somewhere, and then, and then they have a little conversation here, and I guess Because no script or anything has been written for this just yet. I'm gonna have Tiffany probably like write up a little script for it. But basically, like, he just points to the little trigger that releases the little cage, off of him, and then, you know, um, I had at one point where I thought about having, excuse me, Foxy like wringing his neck a little bit, but I was like, no, that might be a little too violent. Let me just have him pick him up by the shoulders. We don't want to traumatize any children here. And, and they have like a little brief conversation, and then he gets dragged off back to the school in very fast pace. I probably might have some flames or something coming off his feet or some smoke trails. And then, we have another little panel of them running in the distance, and you see the school way, way, way in the background. And then some of the students in the class, I don't think class has started yet. It's about to begin, but, a couple of their school or friends, kind
Excuse
of
me.
notice that they're, like, where are they? So you see like a little smoke pile, in the distance there of them trying to get back. And then I have another little panel of them like running into the classroom and knocking over, the two kids that was kind of sitting outside wondering where they at. So so I'm at the end where, they plop inside their little desk because they are sitting at the back of the class, and then I'll probably have like the last couple of panels where, the teacher is calling out the names. They say here, here, and then Frog is kind of like here, and then he kind of blacks out, and then when he wakes up, it's kind of like all a dream. So, that's pretty much how it's going to end. It's kind of like it was all pretty much a dream. So yeah, so I'm
Cute.
almost there. So I just gotta finish up the last little bits and stuff like that. So you know. But yeah,
Wow.
man. So yeah, but let's see. Let me pull up. I wish I can pull up multiple ones in Sketchbook, and I probably can. But let's see. Let's see if I can do. It might be better for me to just pull it up in Photoshop. But let's see here. Do do do. Well, these are. Can you see these as well?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, these. This is kind of like just a character sketch of like all the characters in this particular main story. There's like other characters because some of these characters have like brothers and sisters, and there's some other outside characters and stuff like
Now,
that I have to make too.
because what I'm seeing now, you still on the
Oh, wait a minute. Let me
last
see.
frame.
Let's see. Let me try it again.
Oh, okay. Now I see it.
Okay, yeah. And I don't know if you saw me. You probably didn't see me scrolling through the. Did you see me scrolling through the little comic strip? Did you see that?
Yeah.
Okay, you saw it me scrolling through.
Hmm.
Okay, all right. But yeah, this is kind of like just a breakdown, of like all the main characters in this particular story. We got starting from the right, we got the raccoon, the madman, and then we have the unicorn, the unicorn. Now, it's this is very interesting character right here because he, because Ashley Jackson, he created like this whole world in roadblocks of where unicorn, the unicorn, lives, and he lives like up in the clouds. Now I don't know how he gets that. Well, he has wings, so I guess he just flies down or whatever, takes some long escalator or whatever. But he lives up in these clouds, and there's like these big, huge mushrooms or whatever up there, and rainbows everywhere, and it's very, very imaginative. I can't wait to kind of depict where because maybe he'll have like a birthday party or something, and all his friends come, and they got to go all the way up to I don't know, Cloud City, I guess. So unicorn world, I guess. So that's gonna be a interesting
Yeah,
picture, man.
the imaginary stories that sounds familiar. That sounds genetic.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Now, and then we have Buzzy the Bee. Now, Buzzy the Bee is, uh, which was kind of odd for me because I was like, okay, now Buzzy the Bee, he's like a humanoid looking type character, but he has a pet bee. And I'm like, how does that work? But I didn't question it because that's coming from Jackson's imagination. I'm like,
Okay.
okay, a bee having a pet bee. Okay, I don't know how that works, but okay, we're just gonna roll with it. And and then we got Sheepy the sheep, and then of course, the two main characters, Foxy, and then we got Froggy, and then we got Piggy, and then Beans the cat, and then we got Sharky, or I don't know if it's Sharky the shark or something like that. But you know, the characters are definitely very imaginative.
Yeah.
So I just try to depict them the best way, kind of like in my own style, and how I thought they, should look or whatever. So, based
Do,
off of his kind of his sketch or whatever. So, you know, but
do you get creative input from the from Jackson?
well, he tells me whether it looks right or wrong. He'll take a look at it, and or he'll take a look at the story and tell me it's like, no, that's not right, or if I'm going in the right direction. So far,
Mm.
he looked at everything, and everything seems to be going in the right direction. Even like, I don't know if you see this, even the clouds, and I haven't done it yet with the clouds, but even the sun and the clouds have like a personality and stuff. I don't know if they talk much, but they have expressions or whatever.
Oh,
So,
okay.
but I may not do the clouds, but definitely the sun. He has a personality as well, and he kind of looks in, kind of like the all knowing. He kind of sees
Oh, okay.
everything. But being that they're in the
They,
forest,
they have their omnipresence there. Oh,
yes, yes,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay. All righty then.
So, but being that they're in the forest, he can't really see everything because there's tree coverage and stuff like that.
Okay.
So, but he can only see what he can see, and stuff like that. But
Wow.
yeah, so I thought that was pretty cool. I was
I,
like, that's
I can't wait to see the animated version.
yeah, that's I was talking to my friend Carnes, and just to try to combine everything together, what I've learned over the past like 20 some odd years. I was like, well, I'm gonna go ahead and sketch this whole thing out, make it into a comic, and then animate it and turn it into like a little, make some, maybe some animated shorts or something like that. Kind of like how Disney does with like the old Mickey cartoons and stuff, on Disney Plus. So I was like, well, maybe I could do like a little animated short, and something that's funny, something that
Yeah.
probably lasts for like maybe like 10 minutes, something like that,
Mhm.
something quick. So so it's in the works. I'm gonna show the whole process here, on
Okay. I
Frank Brock
can't.
Art. So
Got
it's
another artist in the family.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's me being solo on this thing. It's gonna take a minute, so everybody might get bored and then come back and then look in and like, okay, he ain't got there yet. I'll just come back later. It'll be a lot of popping in and popping out. So we'll see, we'll see. Yeah. So and let me pull up the first board here. Let's see. Pull it up. Dun, 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 dun. Let's see. And
But I'm glad you had the mind for all of that because I would be like, oh,
yeah,
God. can't do this.
It gets like that some days. It gets like that because I'll start working on it because I'm the type of person it's like I'll get bored at a certain point. I'll start working on something and then I'll get a little tired, so I would have to step away from it and then work on something else. You know, and then once I guess my energy is a little bit you know back on track to work on it, then I'll go back and start working on it with like a new revived energy or to motivation, I'll say,
Yeah,
to work on it and stuff. So you know
the old I'll walk away and
yeah,
take 5 and then come back. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So and this is pretty much how it all starts. It's kind of like this kind of reminds me of us working late at night and watching the sun come up in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
So we got the sun is coming up in the morning, and then he kind of peeks over, and this shows like where Froggy lives, and him, in the little window there, and we kind of peek in and kind of see what's going on with him and his daily routine. So him going downstairs, talking to his parents and stuff, and wanting to go out and play, but unfortunately he has to, go to school. So, and he's like freaking out, like what, So at that time, his little friend Froggy, I mean Foxy, he's already at the door, like, where's Froggy at? So, they go and end up, heading off to school. And then, he sees his little friends there. Some are ready for school, some are not. And then we have them kind of walking through, the little forest to kind of get to their little school and whatnot, having a little conversation. And then Froggy, he's in the back and he's having, he's getting distracted, he's smelling stuff and I guess Jackson says his favorite food is watermelon. I don't get it, but okay. So he smells like this aroma of the watermelon and he's like, hypnotized. So now he's like, I may have it to where he's kind of like floating. You ever seen those cartoons where they're like floating
Yeah.
off the smell and stuff? So I may have him
Yeah.
floating along, uh, for because of the scent is so beautiful and so powerful or whatever, it just lifts him off his feet. So so yeah, that's how it kind of all begins, man. It all begins. So, but anyways, so yeah, man. So that's where I am on this little project here, and it's been fun working on it. I can't wait to get to the part where I start doing all the line work and the coloring and stuff. It's gonna look beautiful. Little tears coming out of my eye. I can already see it finished.
Good job. Good job.
Yeah,
Love it.
it's getting there. It's getting there. So yeah, but we're at that time where it's been an hour, and I didn't want to keep you too long because it's like almost 8 o'clock, and I know you want to get home and go to sleep, get some rest, or paint or
Oh, yeah.
whatever.
Please.
So
Yeah, because I'm going to shut all of this down because, I originally came here to work on the computer and all that, but I'm going to save that for tomorrow
I hear
because,
you.
I got to reboot. So,
Yeah. Yeah, but first of all, I just want to thank you for coming on and hanging out with me for a little while and just chit chatting, and so
well, it's been an absolute pleasure. And, I'm not saying this because I'm your sister, but I'm saying this because I'm your sister.
yeah.
I'm proud of you, because it's like you picked up the ball, the artist ball, and you took off and ran with it. Because I, being the oldest, you
Mhm.
know, when it came to me having an interest in tennis,
Mhm.
and when we used to go to Daffin Park and play tennis, with the tennis and different tennis leagues and stuff,
Right.
and different parks competing against each other. I had an interest in playing tennis,
Yeah.
and then I had to drag Jana with me, so I had to watch her, and so she picks up the tennis racket and she runs with it, and she plays tennis and plays for school and competitions and stuff like that. Then I draw, teach you how to draw, and then you run off with it, and now you're doing this. So I don't know what I gave her to Brad. I don't know, but we still gonna figure that out. But you know, but in regards to what you're doing, I'm proud of you. I'm
Thank
glad,
you. Thank
you
you.
know, that you're in your craft and you're working with your craft, and you just, you know, your talent. It's like we're two fruit from the same tree, but you have your interests and I have my interests, but we're still artists, all the same. So
Yeah.
you're very talented. I love it. I love you.
Thank you.
Just
Love you
keep doing
too.
what you're doing. Whether you have one follower or 1 million followers, just
Okay.
keep doing what you're doing. And I encourage all artists out there, no matter if you're
Big or
sequential
small.
art, yeah, no matter what it is,
Just
it could be
starting.
knitting, crocheting, sewing, whatever that art form is. Just keep doing what you're doing. That's your passion. Feed your passion. So
Yeah. All right. Well,
that's
tell everybody where they can find you. I'm gonna have to put it all because I didn't put your info in there, but just send me like your info. Just email me, and I'll just copy and paste it in the description and stuff like that. But tell everybody where they can
well.
find you,
I
find
mean,
your art, your next showings.
I mean, I'm,
All that stuff.
I'm part of the old school generation. I'm on Facebook.
Okay.
Deneen Harrison. I'm on Facebook, and then I'm on Instagram. I'm at Deneen underscore Broxton underscore Harrison, or you can hit me up at a night. That's AKNIGHT in a night in Georgia.
Oh, I
So
like that.
yeah. A
Okay.
night in Georgia. So I'm and or Deneen underscore Boston underscore Harrison,
Okay.
both on Instagram. So, looking forward to, so much more in the future, and 2023, more room to be me,
Okay.
so
Cool. All right.
but I
Cool.
gotta see. It's just, we're gonna do what we do until we get to where we wanna be, and
Yeah.
you know,
Okay, cool. And for all you guys who join in, before you go out the door, just like and subscribe to Frank Brock Art. And you can also find me on Instagram at Frank Brock Art as well. So, just follow me there because I probably lost all of my followers or whatever since I haven't been posting much. But I'm going to post all this stuff that I'm working on Instagram as soon as I'm done. So, yeah, just stay tuned or whatever. But all right,
yeah.
guys. I will
All
see you
right.
all later. Thank you, Neen, for coming in, and I
And thank you, brother.
thank you, and we are
Proud of
out.
you.
Oh,